And so's mine.
Okay, Shelby, the purpose of today is to talk about and mentor you towards the next 4 to 5 years and establish your goals and aspirations and what you want to achieve. I'm going to be here to agree common goals and common grounds. Not only will I be writing some of them down, we'll agree and then write at the end. But first and foremost, we have talked before and we've discussed what you hope to achieve within the next 4 to 5 years. You are age 26, which I hope you don't mind me saying that. So we've discussed it. So first of all, I'd like to ask you, what are your long-term goals coming right back to present goals?
Okay, so eventually what I want to get out of this is I want to get myself a mortgage.
So become a mortgage, own
my
your
own
own
house. Yeah. Obviously to be able to do that, I need to get myself onto a proper pay scale, good wage. So that's why I'm doing my teaching course now, which is 4 years. Okay?
Yeah.
Then after that, to do that, I've got to work for 4 years at the school with the university and do different placements.
So currently you are training to be a teacher,
yeah,
and hopefully
correct.
achieve your full teacher status within the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So homeowner is the end goal. To get there, we need to establish a teaching degree and become a teacher. So working back from homeowner, you were, sorry to interrupt, you were saying the next part of your teaching, or the final part of your teaching, will be?
My final placement, which will be in 2020. For that, I've got to find my own placement. So I'm currently speaking to different schools at the moment, seeing if they'd have the availability to take me on as a long-term placement in the last year.
So that's before you get to the final. So before your final placement.
Yeah, I've got my next one in October 19, and that's at school.
So you are currently on placement. So your next part of your course will be your next placement.
Yeah, which is at my school.
Which is at your current school,
yeah.
And that will that will run till when? 20.
That's October 19 for the whole term.
October.
Yeah.
That's for the whole term. So till next October, we're currently in September.
Correct.
Yeah. So that'll be 2018. And so bringing it back towards present day, you're just about to start the new term at your current placement, which is your current school. Are there anything your immediate goals at the school now?
So my head teacher has given me the role, or asked me to take on the role as PE coordinator. So I'm going to step into that role from September when we go back. Hoping to go on some courses this term and have few transition meetings with the current PE coordinator to get me settled into that role and to know what I'm doing for the rest of the year.
So, from what you've said, if we work back up, currently you are this is the second year of your year of your 4-year placement, and the end goal is to get your teaching qualification, and when you are a full teacher, by then you'll be able to establish gain a mortgage for your own home.
Yeah, I'll have to first of all get a job, which is what I'm hoping, to stay at the current school, and hoping that they'll employ me for the position.
We've come from top to bottom. Are we okay to go from bottom to top and see how we're going to get there?
Yeah.
So we're going to see how we get there. So we go back. We've already discussed this about being a PE coordinator. You were asked to do this, and obviously this is going to be a job enlargement. Do you see this a benefit towards, why is it that you've chosen to do this?
Well, not only school advised me to do something different, but university have also told me that there needs to be there's so many teachers around that it's good to have that little bit of extra knowledge and qualification. So I've got the extra wow factor when I'm actually trying to apply for jobs
Right.
So I thought, because of my interest in sports, I really strongly believe that the younger you are, the younger that you learn how important sport is, and the more you'll carry on through your lifetime.
And are there any, with it being a job enlargement, are there any concerns that you might have we're looking at?
My only concern is trying to sort of juggle everything, juggle my uni work, my PE coordinator, and my current role, which is the TA when I'm not in placement. So basically I'm just going to have to make sure that I've got myself a sort of timetable that I stick to.
Right, so let's quickly look at that timetable. On a weekly basis, we'll delegate certain times. So for coursework, which is an integral part, have we decided on certain days that you go, or time allocations that you're going to do?
Yeah, I'm thinking I have uni every other Wednesday evening, so I'm thinking the Wednesday that I've not got uni, I'll stay in school for that set time that I would usually be there and work throughout what tasks I've got to do for uni.
So that's every other week you'll have time delegated for your coursework in order for it to progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, will this PE coordinator require you to do more work in terms of on top of what you've not already been doing?
Yeah. So not only am I going to be do my normal role at school, I've also got to take on. I'm going to have to work closely with another PE worker who comes in. She works for West Lancs, and she comes in twice a week, so I'm going to be shadowing her quite a little bit to find out who I can put on a team, what child is stronger at what sport, and what I can make the best team to send them off to different events.
Okay, so you're going to gain some experience using a already qualified, already PE coach that comes into your school. And have you got into contact with her, or is that a goal to ask her?
Yeah, I already work closely with her anyway. She's back with us again next year, so I've already mentioned it to her that I'm going to be shadowing her on days that she's in.
So we need to seal in certain days this term. Yeah, this term we need to seal in certain days. Is that acceptable to shadow her? And she will help you within this new given role. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. We can assess that, because what I want to do, if it's okay with you, is every half term touch base again and see how we're doing on these goals and objectives and achievements. Mm-hmm. Right, moving in. So hopefully by sort of December time, are we saying PE coordinator you are
settled
into it?
On my own.
We agree it's a bit of a job enlargement.
Mm-hmm.
But you think it's okay?
Oh, it's a challenge that I can't wait to take on.
Right, and is there any reason why PE coordinator? I mean, why do you think it'll be okay? Interest-wise? Yeah,
like I said before, I'm a keen sports person. I'm really interested in myself, and I've actually been on when I've not been PE coordinator, I've still been going to many of the events, so I know how it works. I know what's expected of me. It's just what I can put in that's going to make it better.
Right, so let's can we think of a goal, a quantified goal we can talk about achieving within that role, so we know that we've, for example, maybe an event that you might create, and what time? Should we say realistically by, I don't know, February term time?
Yeah.
You will have organised, selected the relevant children and attended a PE event of some description.
Maybe I think there's around that time possibly a cross country or an athletics.
Superb.
Around that time.
That's enough time given.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on from your PE coordinator, we work towards, we have every other Wednesday to do your coursework. Marking time within that, I presume, is a major part of your, and obviously lesson planning. How do you perceive to? Are you already happy with that, or have you found it a bit challenging in the past?
Yeah, I found it a bit challenging last year because I didn't get the PPA time, which is the planning time given to teachers.
Right.
Hopefully this year, yeah, I'll be getting a bit of time out of timetable to utilise it, doing my planning and my...
So that has to be a goal when we go back, to make sure you have this PPE time.
Yeah.
So everything right. So again, we'll assess that. We'll make sure you've got that in play. And have you already discussed this with, is it headmistress?
Yeah, so when she asked me to take on the role, I made her aware of everything, that all my uni work as well. And she sort of said, with your PPA time, you can use that for your planning time, and then you've got your PE time to do your coordination time.
Right, so we can reassess that and talk about that in our next meeting. Okay, moving on. You conclude into your next placement, so we're talking around about October 2018, you said.
Yeah.
How do you perceive that going? Is there any possible hitches you might find in attaining that placement, or...?
I'm feeling happy about next placement. That's at my school already, so I'm familiar with the children,
confirmed.
familiar with the staff. Yeah, that's all sorted.
That's definitely so.
Yeah.
So that's sealed. That's a sealed deal. By then, we should be hoping to be, obviously, what do you hope to achieve by then in your next placement? Is there certain grades you need to achieve? Are we going to look at?
So I'll need to be teaching 80% of the time, rather than... So my first placement, I was expected to teach 30 to 50% of the time. I actually did full time anyway, but for this next one they want you teaching 80% of the time, which I'm quite confident I can do already.
So you're currently teaching 50% of the time.
Yeah.
So by the next placement, which is at your same school, which you're already sealed in, so that's not, we don't need to worry about that. You'll be up to 80% with this PE coordinator role involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Superb. And you can't perceive any problems there or any apprehensions about that?
No, like I say, I'm quite happy with what I've got to do. It's just making sure that I make the time to fit everything in and give everything my all, not leave everything till last minute.
Is there any other things that we can think of that might bolster or help you towards gaining teaching experience that you might want to look at? Like maybe, I don't know, looking at other schools or not? Or will that be okay in your final placement?
Well, like I said before, for my final placement I have to find it myself, so I've already arranged with a teacher from a school in St Helens that I'm going to go and see those.
So that comes in, you'll do your next placement October 2018 and your final placement 2020. So if we move on to that, that has got to be one of our major goals, to achieve a placement for a start.
Yeah.
And you've already said you have a desired school, did you say?
Yeah, I've got a couple I'm looking at, but in particular this one, I have already been in contact with her and I've arranged to go in on days maybe that they're on inset day, or we're on inset days, that I can go over and sort of have a look at what they've got to offer there. It's a lot bigger school, so there's many different things that I can get my teeth into. It's there's different religions, different
So
languages.
currently your school's a very small school?
Yeah, really small. And
so again, looking at any type of boundaries or apprehensions about going to a bigger school, or do you think you'll be thoroughly...
Yeah, there'll definitely be apprehensions because I haven't worked in such a large school before, but I'm hoping with all my experience and my versatility with going to the different PE events that I'll come across most of these.
PE events will do. And we've agreed that actually going into the school before the placement on the numerous occasions.
Yeah, definitely.
I was thinking, just correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe discussing with your head at the moment whether she'll give you those specific days to make as part of, instead of having to do it extracurricular or on top. Would she be happy with that, do you know? I mean, how
she seems to support me with everything that's required for uni, so I can't see there being a problem.
I'm just thinking, if there is a problem and you don't get that school for some reason, is there a backup plan?
they've always got the uni can choose it for me, but obviously I would prefer to do it because I want to choose somewhere that I've not worked before, somewhere with different opportunities.
So an absolute fail-safe, we know, so we can, is that the university will sort your final placement, but that might not be at a desired school.
Yeah, and it could be, they can choose it up to miles and miles away, so I might have to stay away for the week and stuff.
So we've run through from current through to your next placement and your final placement, so I want you to think about being within that final placement, all your assignment work smooth. I want you to envisage this now. You've attained your 80% class time. You're on board to full qualification, which takes us towards this end goal of self-sufficient homeowner within 4 to 5 years. I want you to just think about that now and tell me your ideal scenario, as in to attain a mortgage, where the house would be, and possibly what school you'd like to work in, and obviously things that how you'd like it to go, and we'll just quickly discuss what things could potentially may delay us for that and what we can do about that. So just have a think about that and talk to me about, let's say you're in your final placement, you're halfway through and you're getting towards your final qualification.
So obviously my main concern on my final placement will be making sure that I get a job. There's so many trainee teachers out there and there's so many schools that already have people in the school that they've already thought in their head they want. So my main aim is to tell people why I'm different, show them what experience I've got and try and get them to employ me. Ideally the school I'm in, I'd love to stay in.
Ideally.
But if that's not the case, I'd like one in the local area, similar sort of setting, country school, local family school.
16 minutes.
Would you be able to push towards a job at that school, or are those jobs, I mean, thinking long term, you know the school, you've worked there for a while, do you think there might be a chance of you getting a full-time job there?
Hopefully. I mean, my head's already said that she would love to give me a job at the end of it, but it all depends on how many pupils we've got, whether there's a desire for another teacher, if another teacher leaves, or if she decides to extend the school and create another classroom.
Right. And obviously looking towards that, we're getting towards the final end. You've looked into mortgages and stuff?
Yeah, so I've already been spoke to a mortgage advisor on the current wage I'm on, and because I am also at uni, they've obviously advised me that I need to get a full-time job, full-time income, and go back to them when I'm ready.
And we've got a realistic house pricing involved and stuff, so we've already touched base. I mean, that might change as we... You said locally, are they...
Yeah, I'd like to live local, close to my family, close to my friends.
So that's ideally... So right at the end, to sum it up to a certain extent, we want to be a full-time paid qualified teacher within the current school or a local school, and on the housing ladder for hopefully a local surrounding area where your family are. So we're talking by the age of 30, which is a nice round number, or 31. One thing I do want to ask you about is, obviously we've got all this set out, but what about time for yourself? What have you put aside for your own hobbies and stuff? Because I know you like to keep fit. Have you got any time?
Yeah,
that's
so
a big part?
What I found last year especially is I've got my certain days and my classes that I go to keep fit. So I also socialise quite a lot there as well. And the weekends, I try and keep as much of the weekend free. Sunday afternoons tend to be schoolwork, but if I've got all of Saturday and a Sunday morning, that's sort of worked well for me in the past, so I'm hoping to keep that.
And do you find keeping fit helps you towards your job?
Absolutely, yeah.
So a big thing is to make sure that we have time for ourselves, and you'd think within this you'll be able to time manage that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but...
Right, so we'll agree, to summarise, we'll agree to try and touch base every other, I think every other half term will be more applicable.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where we are on this ladder, and obviously things might crop up that we might not have foreseen, but we'll come to a common ground again. Are you happy with that as your next 4 to 5 year plan? If you just want to have a quick, I will obviously write it out and we'll come to some goals and some agreements that will, for every time we come and touch base.
Yeah, like I touched on before, I definitely need to set in stone shadowing the P.
Right, so we write
teacher
definitely
at the
I
moment.
wrote that, but shadowing before now and when we touch base next time, which will be sort of when the December half term. So that's a good first goal. Well done. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, from my final placement, I need to make arrangements to go and see the school and other schools in case they can't.
Other
facilitate
schools,
me.
yeah. Got yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Superb. Well, finally, thanks a lot. I look forward to going on this journey with you, and hopefully by the end, nice round number will be a homeowner with a qualified teacher position in a local school.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.